How's everyone doing? I am Alex Jean from Alex Jean Beauty, and thank you so much for stopping by. If you are new to Alex Jean Beauty, welcome, and thank you so much for wanting to hear what I have to say. And if you are not new and you are returning to Alex Jean Beauty, what's up? And thank you for staying to hear what I have to say on Alex Jean Beauty. So today I am going to talk about the 10 things that I have learned in business for 10 years. And I had made a post just talking about how grateful and thankful I am that I made it to 10 years. But now it's time to get into the things that I have learned over the 10 years. But first, let good news travel fast. So if you have some good news that you want me to share with you, share on my channel, please put that in the comments, and I'll be more than happy to share your good news with everyone. And the reason why I do good news, let good news travel fast, because it's just so much negativity. If you turn on the news, it's just depressing. If you hear just different stories, there's so much negative news and just kind of like sad news. And I just want good news to travel fast because it needs to. So like I said, if you want me to share your good news, please drop that in the comment, and I'll be more than happy to share that good news with you. And if that's all, let's get right into the 10 things that I have learned. This will be part 1 because the video will be very long if I did all 10. So we're going to break it up into 2 parts. This is part 1. I'll give 5 tips, 5 things that I have learned, and then part 2 will be the other 5. And so the first lesson I have learned being in business is perception in business is everything. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to present yourself in another way. For me, this has never been an issue for me that I know of, but it was brought to my attention from a very close family member of mine, and it was said that I always think the worst of everything, but that is not the case. In my head, I think I am a very positive person. I always look at the cup half full. I'm always encouraging and uplifting people, but the perception I was giving off to that person was I always think the worst in every situation, and that is definitely not the case. That is not what I'm trying to put off. I always want people to think I'm positive and just have the best interest in everyone, and always think the best of the situation or whatever it may be. But however, that was not the perception I was giving off. And sometimes we think about perception as being something as how we present ourselves as far as physically, but sometimes it can be your character as well. And in my case, I was fortunate enough to receive the feedback from somebody that loves me and get that feedback. So being that I was able to receive that feedback, I am going to work on that and think about that daily, because the thing about business, people, you only get to present yourself one time, and people will not tell you, oh, you think the worst in everything and I'm not coming back to you. They just won't come back. And I don't want to ever give that off in business when I'm servicing a client. So I always want to be positive, uplifting, anything that I can be when I'm servicing a client that will make them return back to me. So that was the first thing. The second thing that I learned in business is be receptive to wisdom. Okay, so this is actually a Bible verse, and it's Ecclesiastes 9:16. And what the Bible verse is talking about, it talks about how our society, we honor wealth and pretty things and success, which is subjective. And we honor all these things above wisdom. Yet wisdom is far greater than strength and or beauty or anything, and we sometimes overlook that because of how it looks from the person. So I'll give you an example. I could be saying the same thing as someone else, but I might not be dressed a certain way, or the person might not value what I have to say, or I could be poor, or it could be any of things. And that person might not value what I have to say over somebody that might be wealthy, dressed well, dressed in the latest and greatest, or whatever they appear to have as wealth. That person might receive that information better from that other person, which we're saying the same thing, but because I look a certain way, or you may feel like I don't have it all, or I don't have it all together, you don't take what I'm saying as value. And in business, I learned that wisdom can come from any place, anybody. And just because it doesn't appear to be gold or appear to be pretty, doesn't mean that we shouldn't accept that type of wisdom and say thank you. Okay, so that was the second one. The third one is resilience and perseverance. Within 10 years of doing business, you will go through so many things. It's going to involve so many highs and lows, good days, bad days, life lesson days. And you really have to learn to keep the negativity out and push through, because it's going to come with just being a business owner. The fourth thing I learned was my money psychology. It's a book called The Psychology of Money, and I recommend everyone to read it because it gave me a different perspective on how I view money, how I process my thought process around money. For me, money was never talked about in my household. When I became an adult, I did not know how to manage my money. I was very loose with it until I read this book, and I was like, oh my God, this was so eye-opening. I now know my psychology of money, and my psychology of money was I didn't have one. I had to create one of my own and learn how to manage money properly as I became an adult. So that is another thing that I learned in business, because of course you need to learn how to manage your money in business, because you'll just spend it all. When you make it, you spend it. So that is one of the big lessons I learned while being in business. And the fifth thing I learned from the 10 years is be bold and confident in your skills. Now, I'm a confident person, and I know I can do hair. I know I can grow people hair out. I know the science behind the hair. I know what products work with certain textures. I know this, but you have to be confident in your skill, and you have to nurture that skill as well too. You have to make sure you're taking the classes that you need. You're doing the things that you need to do to perfect your skill. And I'll give you the example of any type of big name basketball player, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, all of those people. Or we can go to football. I'm a sports person, so I refer to sports a lot, like Odell Beckham Jr. The list goes on of good athletes, and they put time and effort into their skill. They are not good just by just sitting down. Now, their God-given talent got them to the position that they're in, but they had to work at that every day. If we ask them, or if someone was to sit down and just video them of the time and effort that they put into perfecting their skill, we would be amazed. Or some of us won't be, but some people will be amazed on the time and the dedication and the consistency that they put into making their skill better. And that's why they're so confident and bold when they get on the football field or the basketball court, because they know they put in the work to be the best that they can be. And that's the same thing when it comes to business, and especially when you're perfecting your skill. I take classes all the time to perfect my skill, whether it's taking classes on healthy hair, extensions, or product knowledge. That is my niche. My niche is healthy hair. I do extensions, and I do bridal hair. So those are the classes I take constantly. I'm always taking an online class, just trying to get the most information that I can get on those things, because I know products and health and products and good health hair care routines grow your hair. I know you need to be consistent in your styling to book a bride all the time, and you need to be consistent in the way you install your extensions, and the foundation needs to be done properly so you can have a good install for your extensions and people can continue to come back and you're not pulling out their hair. So I'm constantly taking classes and doing those things to perfect my skill, and that's why I'm so confident. I'm not cocky. I'm confident because I know that I know what I'm doing. And that's what you need to be when you're in business. You have to be confident, and your clients can feel when you're not. So that is the first half of the 10 things that I have learned in business. And like I said, let good news travel fast. Leave that in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the Alex Jean Beauty channel, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification so you can get the next so they can notify you when the next video comes up. So I thank you so much for listening and just staying through the video if you made it that far. And if not, just stop by for the next video to hear the next 5 things that I have learned in business. Until then, be blessed and stay beautiful, and I will talk to you guys later.